All right, here we are. Yet another month has passed. Isn't it crazy how fast time is flying? But anyway, that could only mean one thing, and that is my monthly update on all my dividend income, interest, and cashback I got during the course of the month. So kicking things off with my dividend portfolio, currently, as you can see right here, this is my current value that I'm having. This is actually the worst performance I had for quite a while. The recent months was really bad in terms of overall returns, quite some drastic market drops, which of course also brings opportunities. But yeah, it hasn't been down that much. I think even last month it was in the plus, so pretty bad. In case you're wondering, this is called Dividend Watch, which is the tool I use together with my Interactive Brokers account. So basically, I can just import all my trades over here and have my portfolio just with a better visualization of what it is. So they also introduced a new feature over here, which is bars. So just click on this, and then you can see actually your monthly performance. And you can really see here, the beginning of the month, it was actually quite nice, really good gain, little reset. So overall, up and down, mostly up and most of the month, but then September it started going down, and October last month was really a major reset. Obviously, we know the whole markets have been declining recently. So yeah, not the best, but again, I'm a long-term investor, so honestly, this really doesn't bother me too much. When I click into stats here, you can see also a couple of stats on my portfolio. The total dividends received so far, which is really nicely growing, dividend yield 3.64%, and that has been consistently increasing as I've been buying higher dividend-paying stocks, which is nice and something I'll continue to do because my S&P 500 holding actually yields under 2%, which is quite low. So now I'm adding more and more higher dividend-paying stocks, which is nice to see. With this, let's click into my dividends over here. And here you can see the annual dividend income right now is already 877 euros. So that's really nice considering where I was at the beginning of the year at less than 150 euros. So a nice increase, but I also added obviously into the portfolio by buying new stocks over the time. You can see on average how much I'm making in the month in dividends. That's 73 euros. My portfolio yield on cost is a little bit lower because obviously when I bought it, now with the price going down, so the yield on cost dropped as well. But over time, with many years in the future, usually your yield and cost will be significantly higher than your overall portfolio yield because you bought things at a lower price, right? And then price appreciated, so your yield and cost will be significantly higher in the long run. And I'm really happy with my dividend growth over the 3-year period. On average is 5.86%, which is really not too bad. Obviously still lower than inflation, but given the times we're in, really quite happy with that. So then you can see obviously over time how my dividends shaped up. In January, actually I made 0 dividends and it really grew nicely over time to October being 64 euros 55 cents, which is not too shabby. And let's have a look into which companies actually paid me. So the first one was Coca-Cola, which is one of the more recent additions to my portfolio. I actually only had a really small position, but the last 3 months I did buy a little bit more. You can see right here, my current holding is 1,200 euros, which is nice. Portfolio percentage, it makes up less than 5% of my overall percentage. So still a small amount, but definitely getting there. And overall for the annual income, it's around 41 euros that I'm getting from it every year. But as I continue to invest in it, that number obviously will go up. And I'm really happy that also the dividend yield has been increasing because previously it used to be under 3%, which is really very little to be honest. So now that the price has been falling, the dividend yield increases. So I'm really trying to build a bigger position because I really believe in the long term of the company. It's a store of wealth. It's not going to be an explosive growth stock, but definitely secures my money and will pay me in perpetuity a nice, healthy dividend. Then the second company that paid me in the month of October was Vici Properties, one of my 2 REITs that I have in the portfolio, Real Estate Investment Trust. The other one is Realty Income, which we'll come to in a second. But yeah, another really favorite REIT, Vici Property, basically owns the majority of the nice land in Las Vegas Strip that you can see. All the fancy casinos, hotels, etc. are owned, the land at least, by Vici Properties. So really great business. But again, obviously, as we are potentially in recession territory, they might also struggle a little bit, which for me is a good period to scoop up more of the stock. So you can see over here right now, it makes 5.62% of my portfolio, but in terms of dividend income, it makes up almost 10% because it has a high dividend yield. As you can see over here, almost 5.68%, which is really nice. They pay on a quarterly basis. The third dividend I received was from Altria, OMO, which is a smoking company or inhaling technology company as they call themselves. But basically, they have been traditionally selling cigarettes. Now they're going into the vaping game and other more modern ways of consuming cigarettes in a way. I'm not a smoker, so I can't really, judge if it's good or not. But I see most young people with some kind of e-cigarette in their mouth these days, so it seems to be very popular. So I really think it's another boring business that's not going to have high explosive growth. But I think given the dividend right now, as you can see, they're paying almost 10% dividend yield, which is really attractive. Way more I get in interest. I'm really confident they're going to be here in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So yeah, almost 100 years in annual dividend income, which is really not too shabby. It makes less than 4% of my total portfolio, yet 11% of my dividend income percentage. So really, really good. I currently only have 1,000 euros in them invested, so I definitely want to increase my position. And I think with the recent dip in the market, that's definitely a good period to load up more on Ultra shares. And the last company that actually paid me in the month of October was, of course, good old Realty Income, which is my second real estate investment trust, REIT, which I really love because actually they pay me a monthly dividend. So every single month I get a dividend payment from them, which is really cool. I love that. And yeah, you can see actually right now, it's probably one of my biggest individual shareholding of my entire portfolio. With 3,000 euros, makes up currently around 10% of my total portfolio. But in terms of dividend income, 22% almost. So that's really a big chunk because once again, they pay a very juicy dividend of 6.42%. And obviously, as the price of it has been tanking in recent times, the percentage of the dividend yield has been increasing because they have so far, touch wood, not been cutting the dividend. So therefore, the percentage will increase. And as it continues to tank, which honestly, most likely it will in the coming time, I will definitely be loading up more on that. And I really love to get that every single month paid to me. And you can see here how that has been increasing over time. I mean, not so long ago in June, I only got $8 from them. Now it's already more than double, it's $17. So yeah, as I continue to increase every single month, I will immediately see the increased dividend from them. Looking ahead at November, doesn't look too impressive yet, but December on the other hand, is going to be my highest ever dividend paying month, finally crossing the 3-figure dividend monthly income, which is going to be great. I hope to continue growing that in the future. So yeah, overall, definitely there's a lot of pain in the markets right now. Things are going down, which is funny. On the other hand, when I look at my crypto holding, it has really been going up very nicely, almost opposite to the stock market. I mean, I started at the beginning of the year, you can see way less, but now in recent months, it has skyrocketed to over 44,000 euros worth of crypto. You can see here, mostly it's consisting of Bitcoin. I have a bit of Ethereum and some Polygon, but majority is in Bitcoin, and I'm gonna hang on to it. Most of it is kept on my Ledger hardware wallet. I do have a little bit still on the Nexo exchange, which is my favorite crypto exchange of choice. But yeah, honestly, right now it's just waiting and holding, and hopefully in 24, once we have the official Bitcoin ETF approved, potentially by BlackRock, as well as the Bitcoin halving cycle, which will be in 2024, I really think the price of Bitcoin is most likely significantly going to increase for 2024. But hey, then again, I'm just a random guy on the internet. Don't take my word for it. Next up, let's look into the cashback I got in the month of October. For that, I'm using my Revolut Ultra card together with Revolut Pro. So most transactions, I'm actually using my Revolut Pro card on the Ultra plan. This way I get 1.2% cashback on every single transaction, which is really nice and really starts adding up. As you can see over here, last month I got 58 euros paid to me in cashback, which is really nice. And sorry for having just a screenshot, because actually right now I'm recording on my phone, so I can't really show you both at the same time. And that's really nice because that's actually more than I pay on the monthly plan, which is currently for me 45 euros that I pay on the Ultra plan. So technically it more than paid back to it. On top of it, obviously I got so many other benefits such as a free VPN, WeWork access, and free airport lounge access. So many other benefits, and I'll soon make a whole review on Revolut Ultra if it's worth or not. But you can see for last month, it's definitely worth it. At the same time, having said that, obviously it also means that I spent quite a bit. I was traveling quite a bit. I bought already some Christmas gifts. So yeah, definitely I had more outgoings, but at the same time, it's nice that I get something in return from it. With this, we move to the interest I received from my various accounts and apps that I'm using in the month of October. And here I'm going to start with Revolut, which I recently added because previously they haven't been paying in the interest. But now finally they started paying interest in certain countries to certain plans, depends on your plan. But as you can see, right now I'm getting 3.92% on my euros. I can withdraw it anytime, which is really nice. So yeah, definitely I like it. I actually transferred all my money that I previously had in Trading 212. I pulled it out, withdrew it, and send it over to Revolut because it's way higher than I got in Trading 212. I believe it was 1.5% in Europe at least, so that wasn't really attractive. So yeah, you can see here, last month I earned around 45 euros because that's already added with the current day, but last month around 45 euros just by keeping my euros in Revolut, which is really nice, and it's protected up to 20,000 euros, I believe, so it's not too bad also. I wouldn't put all my money there, but definitely some of it is very nice. Diversify, I don't want to put anyways all my eggs in one basket, but really, why not? And definitely much more attractive than keeping in my local bank account, which pays me a big fat zero. So this is really nicely done, kept with Fidelity, which is a trusted fund manager, so definitely you can't really go wrong with that. In addition to my euros that I keep with Revolut, I also keep my dollars there, because usually what I do whenever I see a good exchange rate from euros to dollars, I exchange it through Revolut where there is no exchange fee for me, and then I send those dollars from Revolut directly into interactive brokers. But sometimes I just keep them in my account sitting around until I send them, and I don't get any interest from it. So same with my euros. Now finally I can also get interest on my dollars, and it's even a higher percentage. You can see here 5.42% interest per year, and I can withdraw it anytime I want. So yeah, from that I almost made another $35 in terms of interest income in 1 month only, just by keeping my dollars there, which previously would just be sitting idly in my Revolut account until I send them to Interactive Brokers. So that way it starts making money, and that's really great, right? Free money, who doesn't like that? Next up, we move to another one of my favorite apps and brokers, which is called Lightyear. And you can see over here, they're paying slightly less at the moment, 3.25%, but still very attractive. And once again, I like to diversify. They're also protecting my money up to 20,000 euros. So I don't want to go significantly above that. That's why I try to spread it across different apps. But definitely Lightyear, an amazing app if you want to buy your stocks. They also offer commission-free ETF trading. And if you haven't tried them yet, then use my link in the description below. If you sign up with them, you're going to get $10 to get you started. So yeah, as you can see here, last month I was paid 64 euros in interest income just by keeping my money there. And I really like how transparent they are about the pricing. As you can see over here, the ECB base rate currently is 4%. So that's the official Euribor rate that is there. Everybody knows about it. As soon as it increases or decreases, that will be updated over here. And all they take out is a small fee of 0.75%, which is really fair because I really believe a company should be profitable and make money. Otherwise, we are the product. This way, they're very transparent about it. And the rest, the 3.25%, are being paid to you, which is really more than fair. And once again, so much better than many other banks out there. And lastly, we come to my highest paying interest account, which is actually Trade Republic. So they've recently changed the interest from 2% now all the way to 4%. So on my euros, I'm getting 4%. And you can see here the jump. Last month, for the month of September, I had the same amount sitting there. I only got 8 euros. Now they doubled the interest rate and I got 166 euros in interest in one single month. I mean, that's just mind-boggling, really amazing. It almost pays for most of my subscriptions just by keeping my money there in terms of interest income, and that's paid into your account. So that's actual cash that you're going to be having in your account, and you can choose to withdraw it, you can choose to reinvest it, or you can choose to buy stocks with it, whatever you want. And honestly, it's really, really amazing. Your money with Trade Republic is protected up to 100,000 euros, and they pay interest up to 50,000 euros. So altogether, last month, I earned over 300 euros in interest income just by keeping my money on those various apps, which is really, still can't believe it. I mean, that's way more than I make in dividend incomes, as you saw at the beginning of the video. And honestly, right now, with the interest being so high, is really the perfect time to capitalize on the cash that you're sitting on, because taking a mortgage right now is super, super expensive. You don't want to be paying off any credit cards or mortgages, what have you. So have the money that you're sitting on and you want to use for potential investments in the future, invest it into a high interest paying account. Or, as I do as well, start investing into some nice high-yielding dividend stocks. It's such an amazing feeling to get that sweet, sweet passive income. Basically, having your money work for you, which is just amazing. Next up, check out this video over here, where I'm going to run you through how you can get 4% interest on your cash. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.